5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. Do you remember?
157 maybe. Tom Holland was at the Monaco Grand Prix. That's sort of the most interesting thing I've got to tell you, and that's not exactly news. You know, if we start reporting on that, we should start reporting that the sky is still blue and farts still stink, you know? Because a celebrity, a famous person being at Monaco, it's not a surprise. It's like me being at the park. Like, half these guys live around the corner to evade taxes, you know what I mean? So they're all coming out of the woodwork like little worms. But I actually like Tom Holland, so yeah, I'm not actually calling anyone out. Just sort of making conversation. Yeah, on the Grand Prix, it was actually pretty good. Not gonna talk massive about it now because I've got to do that tomorrow. But no, it wasn't. Well, for Monaco, it's kind of, I think that's sort of the best you can expect. Anything more, then you got really lucky. Before Monaco, you're not gonna get many overtakes. You know, I mean, if you want to look at it like this, the pretty much the top three finished as a top three. I think it started Verstappen, Alonso, Ocon, right? And it finished Verstappen, Alonso, Ocon. So maybe in retrospect, you know, but like it does that classic thing where you get like 50 out of 70 laps through, and you're thinking, I've basically just watched nothing for the past however long, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get something, whether that's a crash, a safety car, whatever it is. Today it was rain. It has been in recent years. It feels like you get a bit of rain, and then all of a sudden it's like, do I pit now? Do I not pit now? Is it time for intermediates? I don't want to go too early. I don't want to go too late. Someone gets it just right, and then you get people spinning. All of a sudden it's carnage, and it ended pretty well. And ultimately, I'm extremely biased, and as long as my drivers do well, then I consider it a good race. Really, Hamilton did better than Russell. He also out-qualified Russell this week. Norris got ahead of Piastri, but Piastri also got in the points, and I do like Piastri. De Vries finally had a half-decent week in the sense that he didn't DNF. And he actually ended up above of Tsunoda. And, I mean, anything that could have been better is if you saw someone else win that wasn't Verstappen. Eventually, I would like to see Leclerc actually win his home race, but, you know, it's not going to be this year, and it wasn't. But yeah, I had that on earlier. Along with final week of football, because it was a final game week. And compared to last year, it wasn't as exciting. Last year, like, the league was still up for grabs, relegation was up for grabs, and top four was up for grabs. There was a lot up for grabs, and it was like everything was constantly changing throughout the league. And ultimately, it ended in what was a fairly predictable way. Probably predictable teams went down. Probably predictable top four, and ultimately ended with City winning it. So it's not like anything crazy happened in the end, but it was still exciting throughout. This was just sort of a bunch of games that didn't mean anything. And then the relegation battle that was going on. But ultimately, the predictable happened with that even. Everton stayed up. And I think that was always just written in the stars that was going to happen. Everton would stay up. I mean, if they was at home against Bournemouth, like if there was a way, maybe they would have slipped that up. But if they won, they would stay up. And, you know, it just wasn't, it just kind of, it was predictable, kind of. I just look forward to a new season because I'm sick of this fucking shite league. Genuinely. Oh, I just remembered something. I actually just remembered something which I'm probably actually going to title this over because I'm not doing it on sport. Because I was about to talk about, what reminded me was I was about to talk about Black Widow. Don't know why. But I was thinking about that film today. Or maybe it was because I was watching Marvel tier lists and that film came up, and it's gonna be. Firstly, it just reminded me that film even exists, which is just so sad to say about that film. But it's just, you know, it's weird because when it came out and when it should have came out and what it was about and how it, you know, and everyone kind of calls it crap and shit and bad and whatever. But like, I was watching the first first 15 minutes of that film. Basically the the montage. It Smells Like Teen Spirit, the whole intro, young Natasha, who actually looks a lot like Scarlett Johansson, it's weird. Do I smell nepotism? No, I think they just got good cast in there. I don't think she's actually related to her. But that whole part is so solid. It's actually like so solid. It actually feels. I was watching that montage bit when they're like inducting, is that the right word? All like the children into like the little assassin thing, and it's kind of like it's like dark, you know. You know, I know it's just Marvel, so it's like how dark is it really? But it's like it is kind of like disturbing, like almost like not even almost like just uncomfortable, like some of the imagery, because it's like they are like, you know, they're children, and it's like they got this weird like old man figure guy, and like then it just, and it's like it starts off like that, and you're like, oh damn, whoa, okay, this is weird but cool. And then like you can see how it descends into Marvel nonsense, because like looking at the same level of, this is not what I want to talk about, by the way, this is just a tangent, but looking at like the same severity of topic or whatever it is, and then like a cooler way of dealing with it or showing it, and then the Marvel-y way. And it's like they go from the first act where like it's this cool kind of montage, and then in the second or third act when it's like Yelena being like, yes, we lost our reproductive organs, so I can't be on my period. It's like, they're just making like some weird joke, and it's like fucking David Harbour, fucking, what's his name in Stranger Things? Can't even remember. What's his name in this? That'd be more useful. But he's just in, like, this just played this some like joke, like Marvel do it a lot where they talk about serious things that happen in their films, but they'll just like, the joke is that they're saying, they're listing off the serious things that happened to them, and because it was so bad, it's the joke. I am fucking tired. Wow, I just deeped. I could barely even open my eyes. They're watering. So like example in Infinity War, Thor's like, yeah, I lost my brother, mother and father too. What about a best friend? Dead. And it's just like, it's funny because it's you know, shit. So like it's funny because you got no reproductive organs, whatever they took out of him, I can't remember. And it's just like the Marvel-y way. This way was better. Why did you let your director or let some creativeness why do you always have to do this type of thing, Marvel? Yeah, no, basically that first 15 minutes is actually pretty strong. Probably one of the strongest first 15 minutes in, well, definitely in Phase 4. We'll say that. You know, I'll give Black Widow that. But Marvel's problem's always been villains and their final act, so you can't be too surprised. No, what this actually reminded me of was Fantastic Four, which I've never actually been too excited about, really giving a fuck about. You see Kevin Feige standing there listing out all the stuff in the new slate, and he's like, you know, Steve Jobs style, one more thing. I didn't even get to tell you guys about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Like, I can't even explain how little of a shit I give about X-Men and Fantastic Four. It's like a comic book thing. People who read comic books love it because it's like, these are some of the most iconic characters in Marvel, and their films were made. So it's like, oh wow, we're gonna see it now, finally, whoa. Whereas I'm like, I don't know, I've seen like way too many X-Men films, and I've seen a bunch of bad Fantastic Four films, and whether you do it good or not good is in the future. And I just don't really care. Like, I don't, but at the same time, like when they tell me they're doing Thunderbolts or like stuff I haven't heard of as well, I also don't care. I realize I just don't, I'm not hyped for anything they tell me, like whatever it is really, unless it's like a sequel to like a franchise in a thing that I really like. I just don't really care because these are just names to me. I start to get excited once I start to see like cast info drop, directors getting attached, things like that. Then trailers, and you get to get an insight into the vibe of what the film's going to be. Then now I'm excited. It's like Fantastic Four. I'm not excited, especially after the Phase 4 that they just gave me. But because I'm basically what I'm trying to say is I don't get excited just off of the name, because I'm not a comic book reader. And Fantastic Four, I'm like, I just want a good movie. You know, they could tell me they're doing Shit Man, the man who's bitten by radioactive shit and he's got the powers of a human bit of feces. I don't. If it's like, oh wait, but it's being played by DiCaprio. Wait, how'd you get DiCaprio in the MC? And it's like sick. You know, then I'm excited now. But yeah, these not leaked, sorry, wrong words, rumored, heavily rumored, don't know why, but Fantastic Four cast is kind of insane, to the point where it's just so unbelievable. But also, like, I thought this was just like someone's fan casting, like this is what they wanted, like a fan cast, and now all of a sudden it's being pushed as like rumored Fantastic Four team, which makes me think when we actually see it, it's gonna be very underwhelming. Cause yeah, like I said, I feel like this was just a fan casted um Fantastic Four movie that's now taken to the wind. But look, I'll go along with what the world is saying, which is that apparently Reed Richards would be Adam Driver. Love Adam Driver. He's great. He's great. Margot Robbie. You know Margot Robbie. To be fair, she did Suicide Squad, which and like all this Harley Quinn stuff, which feels like it's below her sort of usual level. So maybe she would give Marvel a go. We've had Christian Bale step in and people like that, so it's not like they can't get big actors. But just off the bat, like Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, okay. Paul Mescal, which I mean, come on, as Human Torch, that's like bloody brilliant. Also what it is as well. And then the guy from Hamilton, I don't know his name, French guy, I think. You'll know him when you see him. It's the thing. He's gonna be in a studio booth for like 2 days a year, get paid millions. It's an easy paycheck. I am good. I don't know how. It's got more words than that, but you get the gist. To be fair, Bradley Cooper apparently, he spends more time. He said it took 2 years to do it the first. I don't know. Anyway, I think what makes it impressive is a lot like Paul Mescal, like Margot Robbie, Adam Driver. These feel like the actors who are making films that are going to be in conversations for like awards, like indie films or nominations, stuff like that. A24, and it always feels hard to attract those type of actors away from that. Obviously, the money's going to help, but like it just feels difficult to do that for a certain brand of actors. Like Adam Driver's done the Star Wars stuff before, which maybe would make him not want to now do that Marvel. Margot Robbie's done like similar things to Margot Robbie. Paul Mescal kind of in a way seems like the most unrealistic because it's like he's done After Sun and he's doing another film right now with Saoirse Ronan, I think. So it's like he's so far the one who's like all into like the fucking letterboxed film space. Like, are you really gonna be able to tempt him away? And what stage he's in his career now? Maybe from off Benjamins you could, but like I think it's like it looks like on paper exceptional cast. Whether they got chemistry and will jive and can act in a way that works in the MCU, I don't know because you've had great actors in multiple MCU films. Eternals and other ones I can't be asked to think of because my brain hurts too much. But like, just because you're a great actor, don't mean you're gonna like. I think a great example is not in the first four films where she actually, I don't know, they write her better or maybe not necessarily better because she's not really written with that much like Dynata's interestingness. But Natalie Portman, she's like obviously like one of the best actors of a generation or whatever. I've not even seen that many films. I'm just saying what the broad consensus is. But like you see her in Thor: Love and Thunder, and they're getting her to say stuff like, what's that joke catphrase she always says, like "catch my hammer" or something. When she's in the bathroom and she smashes the sink with a hammer, and like she's just running, like she just doesn't work in that setting, and it just doesn't work in the Marvel film, and it just feels weird, and I don't like it. But obviously she's like amazing. Brie Larson's an Academy Award winning actress, and obviously quality, but then they put her in a film which actually is, I think, overhated, but you kind of like set her up to like, what's the phrase? Sorry, it's not working for me right now. But you set her up like, even in the own singular movie, they don't know how they want to write her, and they keep changing the tone in which they write her character in film to film and stuff like that. It's like that. It's like that. is another one where it's like maybe that just it's not about them being bad actors, it's just about other actors who can do the MCU thing. Is there any more that come to the top of my head? I feel like most of the Eternals cast, you could argue that. I'm trying to think about films that have came out. I mean, I guess Mahershala Ali's already done some TV shows. I was gonna say maybe he might be one that doesn't really mesh in the right way, and it could be like Mahershala Ali is actually someone, because he's done like superhero stuff and Marvel stuff, but like MCU's own like its own kettle of fish. It's like if they do like a similar thing to Captain Marvel and they try and get him to say some quips here and then, it just doesn't really work, and he hasn't got like the right like thing to it, and they don't play him like that. Could look bad if they don't do it right. So that's another one. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm genuinely struggling to keep my eyes open. Like the ceiling light is on, and like I'm just tired in general, and I'm trying to like. It's not working. I look extremely high. It's like 2:30 in the morning, to be fair. But yeah, that is everything. We keep these going daily. Wait. Oh no, did I do my Duolingo today? I don't remember getting any updates on my phone, so I think I did it earlier today, because if I missed it, I will be... my blood will be hot and I'll be fueled with rage. Fueled with rage. But yeah, we do this every day. We keep it going. Look at me go. Look at me shine. To be fair, yesterday's only went up like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours ago, because for some reason it didn't save as public. It saved as like a draft. So it was up, but it didn't go. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 0157.
With the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'd ever meet. He was like a hero.